Welcome to the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism here at Western Illinois University. I'm Dr. Buzz Hoon. I'm the chairperson of the department, and I'll be taking you on the journey, trying to give you an idea of what we do here in the department and why we have it structured the way we do. First of all, we welcome you to the floor. Everything that we have up here, all of our classes, all of our labs, our facilities are located right here on the third floor of Salee Hall. And part of what you will see on the tour here is designed to help motivate our students and also let them know that they're part of a great tradition, part of a legacy that began long ago, and that they are going to be making their own success stories while they're here on campus. So part of the reason that we have pictures of our alumni up here is to give them some inspiration and to let them know what kind of job possibilities there are available. For instance, last year we had a banquet on campus that we recognized some of our alums of the year, and what you're seeing are some of the pictures of our alums that are in the Chicago area as videographers, and we also have featured there Alex Degman, who is from the St. Louis area, in radio. So we're very proud of our alumni achievement, and we think that it's terrific that we have access to these professionals in the media field. And part of the reason that as we begin the tour, I try to highlight some of them is because you never know where you might be headed or where your goals and objectives might be. Whether it's working in local news in Quincy, or for instance, Mike Nobler, who we connected last year. Mike is the video coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. Mike, while he was here, did sports production for the football team and also was in our sports production classes. And the great thing about Mike is he has offered to help our students with internships and finding that first crack into the professional ranks. Also, Amy Keller is somebody I like to highlight because Amy, when she came here as a high school student for a visit, I encouraged her to try to get involved, which she, over 4 years, did just about everything that we could do while she was here. And then when she graduated, the Chicago Sky called me, and they made that position video production coordinator for her just because she had so many talents in editing, writing, and could deal with the press. And now Amy, I'm happy to report, is working in Arizona for a hockey league team because that's her future desire. We also have visits usually from some of our alums. For instance, Alex Rodriguez came back last year. Alex is on the Chicago Tribune editorial board. Alex talked about his time as a foreign correspondent in both Russia and Pakistan to our students. So it's great to have those kind of resources and treasures available for our students. And you know, we also like to feature some of the people in news, whether it's Brittany Bauman, who works as a news producer in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. She's very talented. And also Mark Moses, who's doing sports talk down in Florida, or Brian Tully, who works for Fox and Friends as a producer in New York City. I want students to get an idea of where they want to be, what kind of profession that they want to get into, what's their goals, how do we, as educators, help them achieve that, because that's what I really feel like is our job here at Western, is we're trying to help our students reach what their goals and objectives will be. And we do that by connecting them sometimes with person-to-person opportunities. Sometimes it's via Skype. For instance, Tim Abshire is one of our alums. He is a commercial director in the New York area. He's directed TV shows, he does commercials, worked for MTV as well. Tim is very talented and also takes time out of his schedule to talk to our students via Skype as well. One of the things that I'm very happy and excited about to tell our young people about is the opportunity to live together as freshmen. We have a broadcasting and journalism freshman living learning community floor where all the students that are interested in our major room together. They have some of the same classes together. We encourage them to come get involved, whether it's doing sports talks, signing up at the radio station, being involved with the Western Courier, our student newspaper, helping out at sports productions. Whatever it is, we want them to feel like they're involved their freshman year when they get on campus. And so the Broadcasting Living Learning Community floor allows for us to do that. As we move farther down the hallway, we have other alums that we try to feature and try to talk about. And for instance, you'll see a large area here devoted to many of our alums. These are short little biographies that one of our professors, Dr. Roger Sadler, has been able to piece together. And we're very proud of their achievements and what they're doing, and we want students to know that there's lots of opportunities that maybe they haven't even thought about than the traditional jobs. So that's why we're really happy about this. And what has been sort of a side benefit for us is as soon as our students graduate, one of the first things they want to ask me is, have I made the board yet? Because they want to have that. And in fact, some of their desires is to someday be in one of those big pictures that you saw featured on the wall. In the Broadcasting and Journalism Lounge, this is a place where students can relax, have a meal if they need to, also study in between classes. It's meant for their just casual opportunities. But we try to make sure that we fill this up with pictures of them doing activities. And so we want them to know that we appreciate their involvement in the community, what they're doing in gaining valuable experience. We also have an area over here where our awards are. One of the people I'd like to point out is Redrick Terry. Redrick is a 2-time winner for Best Video Play-by-Play in the nation. He won those 2 awards. And one of the challenges that I presented to our incoming freshman class over the summer was, are you ready to do great things? And when I said that to the students, I meant for them to consider that they're the next great student. Redrick was a great student. We have lots of great students in our classes. But those students graduate, they move on and get jobs. So my challenge to you, if you consider joining us in this program, is, are you ready to do great things? Because we are always having to replace our current students. A sad but true effect of graduation. We're going to move down the hallway, and as we move, I think it's very important that what we do here is encourage our students to consider that they need to submit their work for competition. We're very intentional about that. Many of our students submit for both state, regional, and national competitions. In the last few years, we've won Best Video Newscast in the nation, beating out much larger programs. And part of the reason that we do that is because it really gives the students a sense of accomplishment. It allows for them to put something down on their resume and their portfolio that separates them from the rest of the pack. And I always try to tell people that we're a much smaller program in terms of number, but we're mighty in terms of competition. Our students have done everything from winning Crystal Pillars, which are the student equivalent of an Emmy, to winning national and state awards. So we're very proud of their achievements and how that will help them in the future. We also have an area over here for our students that work and do internships. One of the requirements that I ask for our students is that they send me a picture of them working at their internship. So we're very proud of what our students are doing, how they're gaining valuable experience, and the next part of our tour will be handed over to Nick Garrick, who will talk about the student radio station WIUS. Nick?
Thank you, Buzz. I'm Nick Garrick, Promotions Director for 88.3 The Dog, and I'm going to give you guys a little tour of our radio station now. So whenever you walk in, this is our nice big setup. We can accommodate 4 of our students. We are the only urban and alternative radio station here in Macomb. We offer everything from 4 in the morning, starts our alternative section, and then it goes until 4 in the afternoon, and that's when we have a sports talk show. From 4 to 5, we have that sports talk show, and then from 5 until 4 in the morning we have our urban music come in. So students can come in and DJ and have their friends come in and they can have just a good time. Another thing is in the morning, we have at 7 o'clock, we have our morning talk show, which is just where you can cover everything from hard news to soft news, whatever you would like. It's up to your preference, but it has to be talk. And then a new thing this semester is we have a new sports show that's a morning sports show from 8 a.m. until 9 a.m. So that's pretty fun because we had a lot of students interested in sports, and they thought it'd be a good option to have more opportunities for the students to come in here and get hands-on with their friends and talk about the great sports we have here in Macomb and throughout the state. So we operate 24/7, and this is all student-run. So we have one advisor, but for the most part, it's all students that operate this. I'm promotions director, and there's other people who run program director, urban director, alternative director. They handle all the different music and everything. We have street team captains and everything, so they come in here and we pretty much operate the radio station as if we were the professionals. So we get hands-on experience of what it's exactly like in the real world, and we just get to come in here and have a good time and represent 88.3 The Dog everywhere we go. We also do, part of what I do is promotions director. We build relationships with sponsors, and we get out there in the community with different local events and different companies that or benefits that have need music or anything like that. So we'll do things like the marketing program last year had Bounce for Breast Cancer. So we went out there for a couple hours and we played music while they raised money for breast cancer. So that's just one of the things we do. We have 3 great sponsors, Woodrum Ford, Commercial Rental, and Domino's Pizza, and they'll help us out with our tailgates, give us a truck, give us a generator, play our music, and give us some food. And this is just a great opportunity for students to get involved and get hands-on for something that they'll be doing later on in their career.
The next part of the journey here in the Broadcasting Journalism Department will take you from the radio station towards our television and editing facilities. I like to make sure that our students understand that's very important for them to do well in class. We recognize student achievement when they're making the Dean's List. We also think it's important for our faculty to be recognized for their achievement as well, because we have some very talented faculty members that bring professional experience and expertise in areas that just really distinguishes themselves and gives them certain credibility with the students. We appreciate that. Another area that I want to make sure that let students know about is that we have a student newspaper, the Western Courier, where many of our students get hands-on experience writing both for print and digital delivery platforms. And the Western Courier is all a student-run newspaper. They do have an advisor that is a faculty member, and they do some outstanding work at the Western Courier as well. So that's another opportunity for students to get hands-on experience that's going to benefit them. So many of our students will not only work at the radio station, they'll work at the newspaper, and they'll help out with news or sports on the television end. And so these are some just of our pictures of our radio students as well out in the community, making sure that they understand that the promotion of the radio station is just as important as the on-air part. We're going to move down to our television control room, and I'll pass it on to Emily Kenny.
This is the control room for our News 3 live productions. We do not only news, we do a morning show, and we do a sports show, a coaches show. Hopefully we'll bring back our sports show sometime soon, because we used to do one of those last year. Over here you can see we have everything from our graphics computer, which isn't up right now, but this is where we would run over the shoulders. We would also do things like plasma shots in the actual news studio. We have CGs here, which is what you would see for lines underneath people's names in packages and full screen graphics. Over here is where we produce the show. So you'll see everything from what time we should hit that to what the slug is going to be of the actual story we're doing. And over here is my baby. This is the TriCaster 8000. I didn't have this in high school, so when I came here, this is the one thing I really wanted to learn how to use. And this is what you see from everything, doing different camera shots, which our studio's not lit right now, to different video channels. And this is where we would have things like over-the-shoulder graphics and full screens, and 2 boxes when we have different live shots with our Skype kit that we can do. We did a news story with Chris Levingood, who is actually an alum of Western, and he graduated from here. And he works in Florida now. So when Hurricane Irma came through, we did a live shot with him, and he showed us everything outside, and we put that live in our show. Over here is our audio board. And it's not as intimidating as it looks. We don't use really half of these, so don't be too nervous. We have 6 channels for audio, and then we have our sounds for our video, and then we have CD player and our aux. And this is all the stuff in here you learn in our 247 class. It's a live, hands-on class where you can learn how to use all of this at a much more basic level. That was one of my favorite classes, and that's really the best part about this department is you get to be hands-on with everything right from the get-go. I started as a freshman, and I went straight to the TriCaster. I tried to learn that like the back of my hand, and now I do. And when it crashed last year, we lost like everything, and I had to like put it all back together in like 2 hours right before a live show. So that was really something. But doing everything in here, this is one of my favorite things to do. I love doing news, and just the atmosphere and the people I get to work with is really something.
Thanks, Emily. Now, as we get ready to move into our television studio, we want people that are first-timers to the floor to also understand that even though there are not many people up here on the rooms right now, it usually takes quite a few people to pull off a newscast and do it well. So there's lots of opportunities to get hands-on experience behind the scenes, whether it's working the cameras, being in the control room. It takes a lot of people to pull this off, and so these are just some of the pictures that reflect what our newscast students do every day. We're going to move into the studio and talk with Terrence.
All right, hi, I'm Terrence Black. I am actually an anchor for News 3. I started off the past semester as a reporter and an anchor. But I'm going to show you the studio that we have here on the 3rd floor of Slee Hall. Right now, here is our green screen. It's pretty big. It's all painted instead of a regular curtain like most studios have. In our studio now, this is where the teleprompter operator works for the cameras that we'll show you in a minute. They log into the computer and they use the mouse to scroll through the scripts. This is the weather center for our weather anchor, our meteorology major actually. They are our weather anchors as well for our newscast. But this is the weather center for the computer and also the TV in the background. These are our 3 HD cameras, all on trolleys as well. They're for our studios, for our anchors. They work pretty well. This is the grand News 3 desk for me and my co-anchors. I'm getting very used to it now, actually. It did make me nervous pretty soon, but I think I'm getting used to it. I started, as a freshman, I started running cameras for News 3 here. My teacher, Jasmine Crichton, she saw that I had previous experience using cameras, using the switcher, so she got me involved into News 3. And ever since then, I've actually pretty much climbed the ladder and got got used to doing everything. So I put my foot in the door and I got right to it, got right to work. But yeah, I started as a camera operator, and every semester I worked my way up. So after that experience, I actually used it to apply for a production assistant position where I was allowed to do more for the newscast, such as audio operate, run a teleprompter, floor direct. And then after that experience, and after training as well, that allowed me to apply to become a technical director. And then eventually I used that training to apply for a director and an anchor position. I actually took a class to become a reporter for News 3, but I use those packages as well for the content used for News 3. But it's quite the experience here at Western for the broadcasting program. You can get your hands on everything as soon as you walk through the door. As soon as you express interest, you just have to express that interest and you have to stick to it because it is a full-time job. It does take on a lot of responsibilities as well, but it also can be quite rewarding to see that the things that you're learning to do and the things that you're learning to put together and telling stories and then being able to be noticed for that is all worth it. And then the opportunities here is just, it's pretty much, it's all guaranteed. It's not all guaranteed after college, but it's guaranteed that you can find an experience here that you'd like within this department.
Thanks, Terrence. As we move from the TV studio, farther down the hallway, we have some pictures that show what our sports broadcasting students are doing as well. These are just some of the pictures that reflect all the things that our students get to do, whether it's announcing. We both do television and radio announcers for football, volleyball, men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, softball, baseball. We also do an all-day track event in the spring. So lots of opportunities for students to have announcing those events, both for television and radio. We also try to involve our students as freshmen to cover Macomb High sports right away. And there are other opportunities doing, for instance, sports talk radio. Many of our freshmen, that's their first taste into announcing. And of course, the production opportunities are endless as well. And that's really what we try to do here is one of the main points that I want you to always know that about our program is we try to do two things. We provide opportunity and community. We provide these hands-on opportunities that you've seen, everything from the radio station to the television station to working at the Western Courier. Those are great hands-on opportunities that are available for our students. And then the other thing is community. We think it's important that we're a smaller program that is important and very intentional about mentorship and bringing students together so that when they do join the program, they understand that it's going to take them from as freshmen or transfers all the way to their senior year to help pull the boat and really be able to make this department the success that it is. So we thank you for this opportunity to do a brief rundown of our tour of the Broadcasting and Journalism Department, and we hope that you can consider joining this award-winning program.